Open Public Hearings Act.
Hello, what am
here.
I?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Hi, welcome.
Thank you. God bless you.
How you doing? Come in.
Good evening, everybody.
This is the December meeting of the Elizabeth, New Jersey Fair Rental Housing Board. And we'll open with the roll call, or should we open with the public speaking? All right, well, first we have a roll call of commissioners.
Commissioner Nunez,
Here.
Commissioner Arcuri,
Here.
Commissioner Weston Blaylock, Commissioner Silva Santos, Commissioner Gallagher.
Here. Is anyone from the public present who wishes to address the board? Okay, we should approve the would there be a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting? Of the October 19, 2011 meeting? Is there a motion to approve?
Could you read out maybe a list of the people that were here for that meeting so that we all
I
know?
wasn't here.
Can I make the motion? I'm the chair.
Anybody can make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. And is there a second?
Anybody can second.
Anybody can
Second.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes are approved for October 19th meeting. Okay, we'll go for the calendar for next year's meeting, which everybody has a copy.
I don't have one, but they have it. It should be on the side of you.
Everybody has it? Okay, is it acceptable? Anybody have any comments or make a motion to approve it?
I'll make a motion on the floor to approve the calendar year for 2012.
Okay, it's a motion to approve. Is there a second? Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearings. We have a hearing scheduled for tonight, 72 4th Avenue, Apartment 1.
Street.
Councilman Lopez.
4th Street.
Okay, the tenant is here? And the landlord is here? No?
No, I don't see him.
Okay. What's, how, has the landlord been notified, Carol?
Let's see.
By certified
I
mail.
sent certified, but he didn't pick up the certified on the first letter, but he did pick it up on the second letter.
Okay. You have a receipt back on that?
Yes, I do. Do you want to
Okay.
see it?
What's the date of the letter?
The day of the letter is November 2nd. And
The one that he accepted?
the one that he accepted.
Okay. All right, and Mary Ann Chakowski? Hi. I'd like to just move your chair up here, please. Okay. This is a hearing. You made a request to reduce your rent due to reduction in services. Okay. All right, and you are Mary Ann Chakowski, and you reside at 42 4th Street, Apartment 1 in Elizabeth. Okay. And how many units are in that building? You have to speak. Why don't you come closer so they can hear you? Okay, try to speak up so it's being recorded. All right? And you reside in the Apartment 1?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been in 72 4th Street?
Approximately 6 years and a few months.
And do you have a written lease?
No, we don't.
Then always a verbal month-to-month lease?
We had a lease in the beginning. The first landlord gave the building to someone. They gave it to somebody else. The third landlord went into foreclosure. The bank took it over, and then the new landlord bought it from the bank.
Okay. And who is your present landlord?
According to my knowledge, Javier Lopez.
Okay. And how long has he been the owner of 72 4th Street?
According to my information, September 23rd was the closing.
2010?
Yes, no, 11.
11,
This
okay.
past year, yes.
And did you receive any kind of written notification from Mr. Lopez?
No, sir.
How did you know he was the new owner of the building?
He knocked on my door.
Okay. Why don't you tell us what happened?
Okay, he knocked on my door, the beginning of August, and said that the closing was gonna be on August the 6th, at which time, after the closing, he was gonna come in and he was going to discuss a new lease. I did not see him on the 6th. He came by on the 7th and asked us if we could be out by September the 1st. I told him no. Then on approximately August the 20th, our water was cut off, at which point I had called the maintenance company that was taking care of the building through the bank. And I asked them what the status was of the building. And they said that the building had not been sold. I kept in touch with them, and Tenant Access is the name of the maintenance company. They informed me that the closing was on September the 23rd, but I have had no written notification. The first notification I got of the building being out of the bank's hands was a letter stating that he wanted to raise our rent by $800 a month. Oh, yeah.
And
At which time I came to see Ms. Campbell at the rent control, and I had requested. And I had also gone to legal aid.
did you ever go to landlord-tenant court in Elizabeth at all?
Yes, we went on November the 17th. He brought us to court for non-payment of the rent. At which point, he had put down 72 4th Street as his mailing address. And we didn't even go in front of the judge. We went in front of an arbitrator. The arbitrator requested that he give his real address. And at which point, he had already received October and November's rent. And the arbitrator had told him that, because he wanted to give the money orders to court, and the court said, those are not mine, those are yours. So she said, cash them. Now, we have given him rent for October, November, and December. I have the stubs from the money orders. I also have the green card from the certified, but I have no receipt whatsoever from
You
this.
mailed the money order certified mail,
Yes, sir, I did.
so he signed for it. Not the last
Roosevelt,
one.
yeah, somebody signed for
And how
it.
much did you send him
300.
for each month?
Yes, sir. We got 2 money orders, one for October, one for November. They were sent out through the legal aid.
Was there ever a decision by a court that allowed him to increase the rent above the $300?
No, sir.
Now, your complaint is that there was a reduction in services because he asked that you remove your possessions from the basement area,
Right.
and that was starting in November of 2011, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you remove your possessions from the basement area?
No, we've been using storage. We have had all of the landlord's permissions, plus the bank's permission to use the basement as storage. We did state to the gentleman that we would consolidate it into an area in case he wanted to rent the other 2 units, and we'll share.
Has anything changed in your living situation at 72 4th Street since the new landlord took over?
As far as what now?
You're paying the same rent.
Yes, sir.
You're using the same basement for storage.
Yes, sir.
Has anything else changed?
The gas company has come to shut the gas off twice. We have gotten 2 notifications from the electric company that they are going to take and shut the electricity off.
But my question again is, has anything changed in your present living situation?
No.
So there has not been a reduction in any kind of services to you?
Up to this date, no.
You have anything else you'd like the board to know?
Well, I spoke to the lady at Tenant Access, and she informed me that he was informed at the closing that everything was to remain the same as when the bank had it. And he has, I don't know.
And it's still, everything is still the same?
Everything so far is still the same, but I'm still getting notifications of shut-off of the utilities.
Now, what services does the landlord provide to you?
We have never paid any of the utilities. We have just paid the rent. We do maintain the building.
You say you never pay utilities. You pay for heating,
No.
and is that gas or oil?
Gas, it's gas.
Do you pay for water?
No.
You pay for electric?
No, sir.
Oh, wow.
You pay for telephone?
It's my telephone, yes.
Okay. So he provides cold water, heating, and hot water, electric, and gas.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was our agreement with the first landlord because we were maintaining the building.
Now, when you say when you maintain, what do you mean by that?
If any of the pipes bust, my husband, instead of calling a plumber, he's down there, he's fixing. He has repaired ceilings, he has repaired walls, he has done painting. We keep the area clean and
Have there been any major repairs since this new landlord took over?
no, sir.
And how long have you been paying $300 a month?
Since September of 2005.
Ms. Campbell, is the building registered at all?
No, it's not.
And it still is not registered?
Correct.
Guess if, does anybody have any questions? Want to go around the table? It's okay, Maria?
Who's the super in the building?
My husband,
How long has been the super?
since '05. Well, actually, he can answer that because he was taking care of the building prior to us moving in.
How many units did you say?
3.
3.
Who doesn't need a super in
Well, the first landlord that we had, he owned several buildings and he was employed by the landlord, so the landlord had asked him to maintain.
Were you given a reduced rent because you were taking care of it? Did you ever pay more than $300 a month when you lived in that building?
No, sir.
Ms. Curie, anything else?
No, thank you.
Mr. Nunez?
Mr. Kowski, since Mr. Lopez has taken over the building, you said it happened when? What was it, September of this year?
Yes, sir.
Have you performed any maintenance on the building since Mr. Lopez has taken over?
Yes.
You have.
Yes.
With any of the other previous 3 or 4 landlords for the building, did you ever have anything in writing that would say that, this is your rent, you have access to the basement, and I'm going to pay for this, 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 and this? I mean, is there anything in writing ever?
In the very beginning, yes.
Do you have a copy of any of that?
Offhand, I would have to look for it.
Commissioner Nunez, there's 2 areas here. One is the rent increase by the landlord. Second one is reduction in services due to a complaint that the basement was no longer being able to use. And the testimony here is there's been no change at all. The rent has remained the same today, and she still has use of the basement.
Yeah, but now if it's a new landlord and if it doesn't require the same services from them, it has $300 nowadays
Well-
for heat and electric.
Well,
and
my
everything
question is, there's a letter here from.
But the building's not and the building
It's
is
not
not registered also.
Right, well, that's the question I have here. I have a copy of something here from the Fair Rental Housing Board, giving Ms. Jakowski's name and the number of rooms and what's supplied with the apartment and name of the owner. Who filled this out? It says it was received October 14th.
That's the complaint form,
Okay, so Ms. Jakowski filled this out.
yes.
Okay,
If you look on the top, her name's there.
okay,
It was filed on October 14th.
okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, so this is the complaint. I was confused too. What
Now,
about-
as far as tenant access is concerned, when Bank of America owned this property after it was foreclosed on, how was tenant access informed of the fact that the rent was $300?
I sent proof and I went out to Prudential Realty in Linden, on Style Street in Linden, and produced the rent checks. And they accepted it, and I was paying, and I have the copies of the money order. They said they would not accept a personal check, but money orders were acceptable, and I sent money orders every month to Tenant Access.
But tenant access stipulated that your rent would be $300 based on the fact that you
No,
provided,
the rent has been $300 since 2005.
based on what?
That was when she moved in 7 years ago.
Right.
The rent was $300, and it's remained $300 through 2011.
Right. What I'm saying is there any, what proof do we have that the rent is $300?
Mrs. Jakowski's testimony, that is not being disputed right now.
And the checks.
And then
from
there's
Prudential.
checks.
Oh, there is, that's what I mean,
There's
there's
checks
checks.
that are attached to what you have,
Yeah.
or money orders, actually.
But those are October and November.
These are the big ones, yeah. But I guess the bank.
But
Prior to-
again, I just want to direct your attention to the two causes of action here. One is a reduction in rent, a reduction in services, and the other one is an illegal rent increase, none of which has taken place. According to Ms. Jakowski's
Right.
testimony, not today. If it happens in the future, then she has a right to come back in and do something about it.
Is the building allowed to do the 3%? It's not registered, you say it's not under rent
A
control?
non-owner occupied three-family building is subject to rent control.
Was
And in
the-
order for the landlord to raise the rent, he has to register it under the rent control regulations.
Thank you.
So realistically, we really don't, and there's not,
They're not-
there's no case here because nothing has happened.
That's what.
There's
You
been no
just cleared it for us.
Did the owner live?
Are you done, Mr. Nevins?
Yes.
Virginia?
Veronica.
Veronica, I'm
But,
sorry.
no, that's I was gonna say that I'm trying to find what the reduction was.
It was just when I had brought it to Ms. Campbell's attention that he told me that he was going to remove my things from the basement on November the 5th.
It was a
And
threat, it was a threat only.
But they have not been removed.
No, they have not, because Ms. Campbell sent him a letter saying that if he removed them, that we would go to a hearing for reduction of services.
You done?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Santos?
you're saying that the owner of the building did not live in
No, ma'am.
2005? The initial owner when you moved in?
No, ma'am.
Nobody lived, okay. This letter here notifying that the building had been sold, did you receive it? It's from the attorney, letter of attorney?
Yes, I did receive that, and also I have a discrepancy about that because the first landlord, we gave him $850 in security, and he says that he received none.
Okay. But you did get this letter in a timely fashion?
Yes.
Okay.
That was after he had taken possession of the building, to my understanding.
Yes?
Yeah, Mrs. Chakowski, one is you said you got shut-off notices from the electric company and the gas company.
The gas company actually knocked on the door, rang the doorbell.
Right, but the
And the
account
gas
is in the landlord's name.
The account was always in the landlord's name, and when the bank foreclosed, they took over the utilities. And Mr. Lopez was informed at the time of closing that he was going to take possession as is.
How do you know that?
Because I spoke to Toya, I believe her name was, from Tenant Access, because she had called me on.
She wasn't involved in the real estate transaction, correct?
No, but.
So this is all really hearsay.
Yeah, it's kind of hearsay, but she had called me, and on November the 30th. and
Yeah, but
she
you
had-
can't testify as to what someone else
Is there,
said they talked to somebody else
Right.
said, because that's really second and third hand knowledge.
so on the shut-off notices, there's an account number or a name?
She has not got the shut-off
occupant.
notice.
This-
Well, on the door.
Electric
She
company.
said on the door, right?
Electric company I have, and it's just addressed to occupant.
Occupant.
Has the services been terminated at all?
As of now, no.
Okay, so there's been no reduction in that service either?
No.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and I've got this notice of rent increase. It says of October 31st. Now, your original lease, you originally moved in October?
I believe it was September of '05.
Okay. So this is like, your lease would be every year normally on October 31st?
Yeah.
It's a month-to-month lease is what she testified to. She has nothing in writing that
Since
that
the
changed
original
since the
one.
initial lease.
Right, but what I'm getting at is whether this is like a cycle of a year, or it's just an arbitrary date.
This
that
was
they
an
picked
attempt,
to set October 31st.
I think it's pretty clear, it was an attempt by the landlord to increase the rent from $300 to $1,100, and those are the terms, and she never signed that lease or agreed to it.
Actually, he has never offered us a lease.
So where did you get that from?
That was sent in the mail to us, okay?
What, that came from the landlord, from Mr. Lopez?
It came from, I guess, his lawyer.
George A. Batista.
No, but whose
attorney
name
at
is
law.
on the top? Who's as landlord?
Javier Lopez.
Javier Lopez, so it came from the landlord.
Right.
So you never signed that or agreed to that?
Right, it's signed by Xavier Lopez.
She never signed it,
She never signed it, no.
right? Like I said, that was an attempt by the landlord to change the terms of the rental situation to increase the rent to $1,100 under those terms.
Which she did not agree to.
Correct. There's nothing else, if there's a motion to do something, nothing, or
Motion to
whatever.
dismiss.
Yeah, I second it,
To do what?
to dismiss.
Dismiss.
There's no
There's no grounds for.
There's no case because nothing's changed. The case has been brought up on a dispute of rent
That's right.
and a tenant requesting reduction in rent because of reduction in services, neither of which has occurred.
You have a motion to dismiss and a second on it by the security. Any further discussion on it?
Well, I think if the landlord was here, there should have been an agreement that if they don't need their services anymore, the rent has to be brought up to what it should be nowadays. It's impossible to pay $300 without paying electric, heat, water. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, but nonetheless, there's still the complaint of the rent
But
increase.
Again, focusing on
On what the
it is.
complaint was.
What the complaints
Which
are.
it hasn't
The
changed.
motion is just on the reduction in services?
And the increase in
An
rent,
increase in rent.
neither of which has
And
occurred.
the increase in rent?
Has not
To
occurred.
just-
To dismiss both of them because nothing happened.
Is she still paying $300 a month, and she still has access to the basement?
Right, but she's got a notice from a lawyer saying that he
It's
wants
unsigned.
Doesn't
$1,100
mean
a month.
anything.
She hasn't agreed to.
She hasn't agreed.
The only way they could do anything is bring her into court, and at that point,
And say I sent her this letter
The
and she didn't
landlord
pay
will
it. Maybe
need
there
to
should
bring
be
her to
something
court.
from the rent control board stating that, you know, it's beyond the increases allowable under our ordinance.
No, the building is
No,
not
it's not,
registered.
it's not,
Huh?
it's not under rent control.
Well, I mean, an increase of $300 to $1,100 a month is an illegal rent increase.
If,
If it's under
if-
rent control.
again, if the landlord wants to pursue an increase or a non-payment of an increase, he can file an action in Superior Court in Elizabeth, which he apparently did, and it was dismissed or never adjudicated in any way. So
Right,
that
because
means-
there was nothing to say
that
she
means
was
absolutely
responsible.
nothing right now.
Right.
All right, you got a motion on the floor.
Okay.
It's seconded.
Anyone take a roll call?
Yeah, make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Nunes, seconded by Commissioner Curie to dismiss the case. Commissioner Curie?
Good evening.
Aye.
Commissioner Nunes?
aye.
Commissioner Weston Blaylock? Commissioner Silva Santos? Commissioner Gallagher?
No.
All right, so nothing changes, everything remains the same. If something changes in your situation in the future, you can contact Ms. Campbell, and you can file another complaint, and we can come before the board. Okay, good luck to you, and have a good holiday.
Thank you very much.
Santa's not good to any age, it's just letting you know.
We'll leave it here, somebody else will take it.
Let the record reflect that Commissioner Rodriguez is here.
Sorry, I got stuck in traffic on the parkway. I was coming from break, yeah. But not easy.
And there's a thank you card.
All right, why don't we go to new business, old
All right.
business? Old business.
All right, old business? New business? Okay, well,
Any
new business
correspondence,
would be-
Carol?
No, I don't.
The thank you card would be new business?
Oh, the new business should be, are we going to have a holiday party?
Yes.
When?
Whenever you want to do.
And here I'm thinking that I missed it. I'm thinking, I didn't get a letter in the mail. I missed the party.
I just got every,
I thought this was the holiday party.
And you didn't bring chips? Come on.
maybe at a future hearing.
That's why I
we can have
came.
it.
Future hearing, we'll have it. Okay.
Okay, so what, was there discussion on it, on whether to have it?
You need to talk with the business administrator first.
I do.
Talk with that, okay. Now, there's a thank you card from former commissioner and rent control, regulation person, family from Teresa Derrico, who passed away. Right, then we sent the flowers.
Yes, we do.
To all members of the Fair Rental Housing Board, thank you for honoring our mom with such a beautiful arrangement of flowers. She was fond of the rent control board her rent control board years, and cared very much for the city and its residents. Thank you especially for preserving her legacy with a proclamation from the City Council. We will always remember your kindness. Wishing you all the best. With gratitude, Angela Mary Peter Crincoli.
Maybe they want
Huh?
to look at her picture.
And yeah, their pictures
Pass
on.
it around.
Don't worry about that right now.
Pass it around to, Maria.
Now, a little picture.
Anything else? Seeing none, maybe a motion?
Is there a motion
Dismiss.
for
I
Have a
mean,
motion to be
close the meeting.
I second it.
seconded, favored?
Veronica,
Aye.
you made the first motion on that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll vote aye for that.
Next meeting, Carol?
Oh, at the next meeting, do we elect new officers?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
I don't know when the last time that happened. When the meeting closed.
It's due in January.
That's supposed to be new business, right?
No, because I have to fill out the directory, that's why I was asking.
Yeah, it's due January,
You want to
February.
reopen the meeting again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you gotta do another roll call and get it back in the meeting.
Oh, right.
Or we
Tell
can
me
do
what
it, we
you-
can handle it the next meeting.
Well, not
We
next
can have
meeting.
it
Is there a motion to
And then they'll
reopen the
have to
meeting?
go-
No,
The next
have it
meeting.
next meeting.
Yeah,
No?
Yeah, because what, Bob won't get.
Well, then what, we're gonna do it
printing anyway.
February?
January.
January.
Do it January, but we don't need the motion.
We're looking
Right
for
now.
We'll do in January, and then,
All right, January 18th. Okay.